Patrick Mannion with EE Times, and I'm here at the Embedded Systems Conference, and I'm joined by Rich Templeton, CEO of Texas Instruments. Rich just finished a fantastic keynote session, and I want to address some questions with him concerning some of the points that he raised during that keynote. Rich, you talked a lot about some changes that engineers are facing. Can you talk a little bit about how mentally engineers have changed, how they think to address some of those changes?
Yeah, I really do think I'm optimistic. I think engineers are raised, they get into the field because they're curious.
Right.
And I think they just got to stay with that passion. Don't lose it when they get into work. Believe you can change the world and that you've got the control of that. And I think folks that do that, they do it really well.
You talked a lot about how performance is changing and software is being enhanced and silicon's improving, following Moore's law, etc. But all of those are linear changes. Are there any step function changes that you see happening in terms of the convergence of physics, chemistry, and biology that engineers really have to factor into their thinking to really help them do their job well?
Yeah, well, as you know, Patrick, if you listen to some of the applications we talked about, be it healthcare or be it even in the energy side, this is where it is, I think, more than linear thinking.
Right.
You have to start understanding the electrical circuit of the body. You have to start understanding the chemistry of batteries or the applications of power systems.
Right.
So I think the combination of these skills of understanding these different systems plus the increasing capability of the semiconductors, that's really the point I wanted to get across, and I think we can really do some great things together.
To you, it could be said that everything's a nail because you have a hammer. Your hammer is silicon. Do you plan to change how you do your own job in that sense? Will you migrate into chemistry and biology as well, do DNA circuits, things of that nature?
Yeah, I think if we ever see opportunities to be able to blend things differently, we will. And I'll give you a great example of our DLP technology, or digital light projection, which today is now being considered as a pico projector that could be embedded in cell phones or cameras or tiny computer systems. And that's a MEMS-based technology, making mirrors move.
Right.
And that's a little bit adjacent to what we've historically done. So the thing that we encourage people internally is don't focus on the process technology or the device. Think about the application. Think about the problem you're solving. And that'll take you to what type of technologies you need to have to support it.
Right, right. I asked...
We're going to edit this. We just need to hold the microphone closer as you speak.
Closer to me.
You and then closer to
Okay.
That could be a
What are you telling me?
you can add that to the outtakes.
You don't want to hear me? Lip sync, subtitles. I sort of asked this inside. I kind of alluded to the fact that engineers are also wrestling with changes themselves personally for their careers, right? David asked it inside about outsourcing. That's a critical issue that we're facing. Do you think there's anything that engineers need to factor in when it comes to reevaluating their own job?
Yeah, I go back to very close to the answer I talked inside, and that is people that take control, okay, and deliver different products and help companies compete. I think they find plenty of opportunity in front of them. And I'm not trying to be, completely optimist on it, be real about it, but companies and engineers that believe they are in control of their destiny and deliver great products, they usually have very, very successful careers and outlooks on that front. So that's the encouragement I give to people, as opposed to, is the system doing something to me? Don't be a victim. Be somebody that's attacking and take advantage of it.
Take control of your own destiny, more or less,
It's
right?
there to take.
You're kind of the perfect person to say that because you're kind of the uber engineer in the sense that you've come through the engineering system, you went through sales, and you became the head of one of the most successful semiconductor companies in the world. But yet engineers are also, from the bench level up, engineers are wrestling with the idea of, do I Twitter? Do I become a brand myself? How do I raise myself up beyond the bench level engineer to make a difference in the world?
Yeah, well, I can talk about inside of TI, and I think it's important, and we discovered this long ago, is give people alternatives. Because a lot of times you're 5 years into your career, you're not sure, do you want to go a management path, do you want to go a technical ladder path? Well, don't make people decide. As a company, make sure you have those alternatives, and that way as people get to that 5th or 6th year or 3rd year, wherever it is, they can choose. And we've got some folks that, at one time thought they wanted to be a business leader, but what they really enjoyed was just taking, great leadership in the technology side. And they end up on a tech ladder and rising to very high levels. And you've got some that said, I'm going to be an engineer forever. About 5 years, forever was over. And they turned out to be great, great leaders. And so don't try to overthink that. Just figure out how you add value, how you have fun, what you enjoy. And those answers usually will, become apparent to you.
How do you motivate your engineers internally?
you turn them loose. Let the place be decentralized. Let them know that the customers are ultimately in charge, because people that solve customers' problems end up being successful. And I don't care if that's a business person, a marketing person, a salesperson, a design engineer. Let them go on that, and you'll find the folks that really want to compete.
Which is more important, silicon or software?
You can't separate them these days. Embedded systems are just that. Our customers don't care, is it a byte of code or a transistor that's solving a problem? They care about the performance, the power, the cost of the ultimate system. You do have to have the skills to make sure that you can deliver on that, though.
What excites you?
Oh, you've heard the list today. Look at the things that we can touch and impact. When's the last time we could sit here at a conference like this, talk about impacting the health and wellness of people around the globe, cutting and reducing energy, maybe the bigger problem the world faces? That's, in some ways, as much fun as you could have.
What frustrates you?
Well, bigger the company, the less you know everybody around you. I love knowing everybody that I deal with. The other part is I love getting around the world. I just wish jet lag didn't exist.
Do you see any major changes for TI going forward? You've migrated from being a DSP company to being more of a signal processing company integrating analog. Any further changes ahead?
Yeah, I think in some ways, Patrick, the transition some people might assign to us is we've evolved from the baseband or the cellular world or cell phones driving our growth, which was a DSP business, to now all of a sudden it's analog and embedded processing. Very conscious choice, because we looked at where the world was going and we said there's a better place to be, and as a result we've got investment off of the baseband part, but you see what we're doing with OMAP into smartphones, connectivity into phones. Analog today is the largest business inside of TI. Embedded processing is growing rapidly. We love what's happening with our expanding microcontroller positions, in addition to everything we've always done on DSP. So we feel pretty good about where we're positioned. We've just got to stay focused and execute.
Did a good job on that. Well done. Okay, thanks everybody for your time. And this is Patrick Mannion from EE Times signing off at the Embedded Systems Conference here in San Jose. Thank you.
I'm here with Rich Templeton, CEO of Texas Instruments. Now, he is probably one of the high priests